Okay. All right. So, welcome. This is the podcast for Cafe Halla, our Discord group, where we hang out and talk shit about each other all day. I am your host, Jacob, Dragonfly, Chaotic. I have a lot of names.
That
go
dude
ahead.
that does the stuff.
Right now, I'm Chaotic Neutral Link. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Oh man, I'm super shit at this.
Well,
I'm
that's his name now.
I'm super shit at this. Yeah, that's my name.
Just say your name and what your name is on Discord.
I go by like Gore or something.
That's Evan. He's Gore full on Discord.
Yep, sure.
There you go. Next.
My name's Nick, but I go by Leyland.
There you go.
What's going on? I'm Rain. You can refer to me as either my Twitch name or this one, either being Mr. Furry and or Rain.
Alright, perfect. Now, yep. Oh,
yep. Yeah, that's that's a wonderful conversation starter right there. Yep.
Oh hush. Anyway.
Starting on a high note, like I said.
We're gonna talk about the new game releases here in a bit. Is there anything you guys have been excited for? You wanna maybe talk about first before I go through this?
Dude, I'm excited for that sponsorship from Raid Shadow Legends.
Already started. Yo, Raid Shadow Legends? Yeah, come on. We all love the game.
Shadow Legends.
I think I'm definitely most excited for the Final Fantasy remake. Even though I don't have a PlayStation anymore, I'll probably get one just to play it.
I mean, it's already out.
I think we all know I want that Command & Conquer remake.
Right.
Is it going to be a remake? Or is it... I saw there's a remastered collection. I didn't know there's a remake.
Well, it's remastered.
Unless that's what you're referring to.
1080p.
Yeah, so you can play Yuri's Revenge in, like, glorious 4K?
No, you can only play the first Command & Conquer in Red Alert.
You can't play Red Alert 2?
No.
0 out of 10, not buying.
Alright, perfect. Strong start.
Yeah, shit game. It's not Yuri's Revenge. Games, I mean, like, I have to look at a list of, like, Steam. I don't know. I've completely forgot what the hell's coming out this year. Well, Fight Crab's coming out on Steam. That looks pretty hype. We gotta play some Fight Crab.
Dude, some Fight Crab, though.
Fight Crab. I hope Mountain Blade 2, hope that gets more updates on it, because, it's Mountain Blade. That's about all I have for input about news. Oh yeah, shit, actually. I was gonna tell you about this earlier, but I guess it's a good time now. Guess what? We have the Zangetsu update for Bloodstained now.
Yeah, I was playing it earlier.
You bastard! You didn't even fucking tell me.
Well, you need to. You actually need to trigger it. You need to beat the game again. And I was on New Game Plus, so I didn't actually get to see it.
I don't even think I started a new game. I think I just beat the game, and then just went around collecting everything, like collecting all the items, the compendium of monsters, recipes, and shit like that.
Yeah. Alright, well, we're going to talk about that in a minute anyway, so. I'm just going to start at the top of the list, what I have here. Terraria is getting an update, Journey's End, on May 16th.
What a road that's been.
Yeah, imagine when they, decide to not end it again. Everyone's just like, there's just too much hype, we keep getting death threats, we're going to keep doing it again.
Yeah, Terraria Overworld 2 hype.
Well, I mean, did they make it into a good game?
Yes.
Terraria's fun.
Terraria's shit.
Do not be shitting on people's fucking childhood that way.
Yeah,
that was part of your childhood?
You can do that in Discord, but not right now.
This is Discord.
Oh, hush you. Behave yourself.
Man.
Right,
and you call yourself chaotic neutral.
Can't wait for that fucking Moon Lord times 5.
Oh! Oh fuck! I forgot that Mortal Kombat 11's getting an update. Yay!
Oh, dude, is it gonna be good?
Fantastic.
No, it's not going to be good. But they have Spawn in the game, which is cool. That's about it.
Yeah.
Even though I dropped the game like a year ago.
Yeah, they're adding more. They're adding more interactions with NPCs. Like they'll have a happiness gauge and different moods based on where they live and what they actually live in. And they're also adding a new mode called Journey Mode, which is interesting.
You're allowed to go to new maps or something?
It's So what I read is that it's creative, but it's not, because you can infinitely duplicate items once you know how to make them.
That, and just as well, all the actual map sprites and everything like that will be updated, like the map backgrounds
Right.
and such.
Yeah.
As well as the actual 3D modeling sprites for the game itself will be being updated. They're not too much of a visual update. They just look more shaded, per se. Like, a lot more of the characters have better shadowing on them.
Right. Well, that's something to look forward to, maybe. It's pretty, it's like next week, I think. Or a week after, rather.
Yeah.
After that, we got Warhammer 2 getting another DLC, the Warden and
I
the
heard about
Paunch,
that.
on May 21st.
What is it again?
It is the High Elves and the Greenskins.
Who are the greenskins?
Orcs.
The orcs, goblins.
Okay, orcs. Oh, goblins?
Yeah.
I want to play goblins.
Yeah, they actually have artillery that's basically like goblin suicide bombers.
So, like, goblins, like, in Magic.
Yeah, basically.
So just dumb suicidal goblins.
Yeah, they put wings on them and I think bombs, and then just lob that guy at the enemy.
Okay, I want to play as these goblins then. I love goblin decks in Magic. They're so much fun.
I'm a little surprised you didn't play them already. I actually saw that and I was like, Evan would probably be the one that wants to play the garbage faction.
Yes, I want to play garbage.
Oh, I mean, they're apparently one of the weakest factions in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, low tier heroes.
Don't talk about him.
No, that's low tier god. I mean, we can talk about low tier god all damn day.
No.
That Salt Factory?
No. We're not doing that.
Oh, man. Yeah, because you and I are the only ones that know.
Yeah. That's coming out on the 21st. It's like $8 right now. You buy it before it comes out.
$8?
Yeah.
What is it? Sorry.
Researching now.
Warhammer 2, Warden and the Paunch.
Oh, gotcha.
Warhammer.
Can look that up in a moment.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, as Evan said earlier, the Bloodstained update finally came out. It plays Zangetsu now after you beat the game and get the good ending, plus randomizer mode. I don't know how many people other than me and Evan have played that, but it's a good game.
I mean, yeah.
Their fan base of 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, fan base of 2 because nobody else likes Metroidvanias.
Well, listen,
We funded
that multi-million Kickstarter by ourselves.
Yeah, it was just us. And no, actually, it wasn't just us. It was just Jacob alone because he bought the game for me.
Yeah, I guess
so. It was entirely funded by you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even though I was going to buy it, but then you're like, "Here, have this video game."
Yeah.
As tend to happens. Warhammer.
And speaking of Bloodstained, Kingdom got an update on the 28th.
I still haven't tried that. How is it, or is it just literally just it's Miriam on a horse?
I mean, I didn't play it too much, just mostly for the purpose of exploring. But I liked it. I mean, it's interesting because the characters actually have different abilities. And yeah, Miriam rides I forget what its name is, but she rides a demonic horse.
Like the one on the guy in the chariot. In the one area where you jump the gap.
I don't know. It has a name. I just don't remember it.
I don't remember a lot about Bloodstained. I just did that one playthrough, and now Zangetsu mode, I will play through it again. So that's what I was waiting for.
Yeah, we
some
got
more post game content instead of like, hey, you beat the boss, so you're fighting OD, who's Alucard from Symphony of the Night, voiced by the same guy.
right. Yeah, we gotta talk about it later. Sure, that'll be interesting.
Wasn't there supposed to also be like a co-op mode?
Well,
supposed to, or in the works, or in the talks?
One thing at a time, eh?
God, I'm on the topic of Bloodstained here, man.
Well, we're not. That's not the topic right now. I'm just trying.
Fine then. Shit on my dreams.
I will, thank you.
Yeah, as you always do.
Monster Hunter got another title update, but the Kulvataroth quest, the Master Rank quest, and Arc Tempered Namiel. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun being nuked by Namiel and getting smacked and having her giant cape wings envelop the entire screen 90% of the time.
Yeah, it's great.
But hey, you got some cool gamma armor that has some cool skills and defense. I don't know, I haven't even used it. I made it. Now I'm not fighting Arc Tempered Namiel ever again, because fuck that noise.
That's my go-to now, honestly. It's very good. And the next major content update that was supposed to come out this month has actually been delayed indefinitely.
Oh yeah, coronavirus.
Which is a shame.
What is it supposed to be?
I
don't know what's coming up for Monster Hunter. I knew. I was just known up to this point. Well, no, I knew up to Furious Rajang, and then I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know specifically, just that. Yeah, it was supposed to sync up with the consoles, so they'd have an easier update schedule, but that's not going to happen anymore.
Yeah, I know they were trying to do that because didn't PC get a couple of things first ahead of consoles to kickstart that, basically? I could be wrong.
No, I believe PC has always been behind.
Oh, we also got the game like 8 months later, was it?
Something like that. New games coming out, and they have already come out. XCOM Chimera Squad. It's a very good game.
It's a game.
Yeah, it's a video game.
It boots up, it does things.
Yep, you can click. Sometimes you may shoot some aliens in the game. Sometimes you may not because you have a 95% hit percentage, and you don't. You don't hit shit.
But we're all familiar with how XCOM works.
I mean, I haven't even played it, and I know.
Yeah, it's 95% chance until you go to pull the trigger, then it somehow drops to -2.
Yeah, because it be like that because seeds and whatnot. So
he
you
goes
can't
to squeeze
exactly
the trigger
save
and he
scum.
sneezes.
Oh no, you totally can. I did the whole time.
What, save scum it?
Yeah.
No, but I mean like the 95% shot. Half the time it's like an actual seed, so it's already embedded that you're going to miss.
Wow. Yeah, just do something else then.
Yeah, that's why you have to like move over here first and then try to shoot again. Because then that implements another seed, so therefore it may hit this time. Maybe, yeah.
Something that everyone might be familiar with. Halo 2 Anniversary, coming out the 12th of this month.
Okay, so that means I actually have to pony up the cash to buy Master Chief Collection. Alright.
Yep.
Yeah, and then, I was waiting for that because I haven't played through Halo 2. And then there's Halo 3.
Right. Yeah.
Which is the main draw of the damn thing.
I don't know, man. Reach was pretty alright.
Which one was pretty alright?
Reach and one.
I've never played Reach. That's when I fell off the whole Halo bandwagon.
Well, one day we all gotta get together and play through all the legendary campaigns.
Oh yeah, damn straight.
Eventually.
I mean, anything lower is just bitch tier.
Yeah, man.
I don't care if heroic is the developer intended way to play. I don't care. I want legendary.
Also releasing another pretty exciting game, at least for me and Evan. Gears Tactics, XCOM Gears.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we already talked about this. I'm like, yo, it's Gears XCOM.
Yeah.
That's it. It kind of ends there.
There's a little more to it than that, but yeah.
Now, can you actually run up and saw them?
Yes.
Saw the
Okay,
look.
that was
Okay.
awful.
All the executions are still in the game.
What was awful?
I opened up Rain's stream, and it hurt me.
What, mine? What's wrong with it?
Yes.
What is he doing?
What are you playing? Hold on.
What do you mean, what am I
Are
playing?
you playing music on your stream?
Me?
No. What the hell's Star Conflict? Anyway,
What is
sorry,
Star
I
Conflict?
kind of got everything off topic.
That's fine.
Well,
That's fine. Isn't that just how we are? We just jump around everywhere.
that is why I estimated about 20 minutes for every segment, so
Perfect.
seems like I was pretty accurate with that.
Man, you and your time estimations. Shouldn't be doing that. Math is hard.
Another game that flew under the radar, Predator, Hunting Grounds.
I heard it was shit.
Well, who knows? It's on
heard it
the
here
Epic
first,
Game
folks.
Store.
Well, okay. So what I heard about it is that it's just generic shooter garbage, except when you're playing as Predator. Predator's like, hey, this is Predator, but like that's about it.
It's very
Or
descriptive, thank you.
if you want to play Predator, play MKX. It's got Predator in it. You get to do cool combos and kill Sub-Zero and Johnny Cage.
Nice.
And lastly, as Rain said, Final Fantasy VII Remake, which looks fantastic. I haven't
I mean,
played it yet, but I
Tifa looks
want to.
fantastic.
Alright, well, you know.
I mean, you gotta rep the waifus. Come on.
Mhm.
I know
Yeah,
what you're
yeah.
about.
Oh, hush you.
You're not even gonna talk about Tifa.
Don't bring up what I said in Dissidia. Alright, listen.
Yeah, man, Tifa, come on. What about Eris, though? I mean, Eris is pretty good, but, like, nowhere near Tifa level.
I mean, yeah, she's pretty good at getting stabbed in the chest.
Well, I mean, like, now you've just made every person out there cry.
Yeah, now no one's gonna
Not
listen to
me.
this. It's over.
Yeah, spoilers.
-2 went to -5.
Spoilers for a 23-year-old game now.
Hey man, they haven't released that part yet. They only released like the first part of the game.
Yeah, I know. It's only up until you get out of Midgar, so it's right after the mini game where you're on the motorcycle on the highway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But apparently they changed it where you fight the boss on the motorcycle, actually.
That's interesting.
Yeah, instead of doing that mini game that everybody kind of hated, and you just need to slash the one side to make it easier because the AI is just stupid. It was 97 AI. So it's pretty rudimentary.
It's pretty fire.
That
I
is
don't know.
that is the last of things that I thought would be interesting to talk about, and I don't know, maybe visit later. There's going to be links to all the games and some articles later in the description.
You're not even going to talk about Trials of Mana that came out? Because I'm the only one that knows about the goddamn game.
Hey, I asked you at the beginning if you wanted to talk about anything.
Yeah, Trials of Mana Seeking Densetsu 3 Remake? Hell yeah.
Yeah, 55
For
seconds
anyone that is over 25 that has played the game in early 2000s on emulator, it's a remake. Yeah.
left. I've never played it, so I don't know.
Again, you're not really of the age bracket that the game is really intended for. It is really intended for the people that played the game on emulator way back.
Right.
Because it was never localized.
Well, maybe I'll pick that up. But there's a lot here already. A lot that I still have to finish. A lot that I
Oh
haven't,
yeah, I think we all have that issue, that ever-increasing backlog.
Yeah.
As much as we keep going back and playing the same old shit over and over again for the millionth time, Dark Souls.
Speaking of the same old shit, let's talk about some news stories that you guys have been talking about before we started recording.
Anybody have anything besides me?
I thought the moderator was going to point that one out, but alright.
Yeah, Jacob. You're supposed to be prepared.
Supposed to moderate.
Yeah.
Imagine
We're
if
putting
the
you on blast here.
imagine if the friggin' presidential campaigns were like this. Just a bunch of dudes talking on the stage about just whatever they felt like. Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
Jacob,
that's
when's
kinda what happened.
Marvel?
Are you done now?
Yes.
Yeah, when's Marvel? Just tell me.
When's
I don't
Marvel?
All right, fine. I'll start off with something that everyone's probably already heard of, but still pretty surprising to me. Evo got canceled here in Las Vegas. That was,
Yeah.
I guess, not a huge surprise, but
Yeah, not
know.
a huge surprise. Sort of bummed, but sort of not. I don't know. I always definitely like watching, but you know, we knew it was going to happen eventually.
We knew where it was heading.
Online Evo though, that's going to be a shit show, and yeah, I don't know how the hell they're going to do that. But then again, that's a topic that's already been discussed to death. These fighting games don't have rollback netcode, and it's all delayed based. So you already know us playing cross tag, us playing fighters. You have your random lag spikes. So just picture that for every single tournament match. Picture a grand finals where we're playing cross tag and then the game shits itself and disconnects. And whoever disconnects loses. That's awful.
That's how you lose your pink star.
It's going to be real hard to deal with that. Not looking forward to seeing how that's going to pan out.
I feel like they're just going to do it like region based. That's really all you can really do. How else are you going to do it? You can't do East Coast versus West Coast. It's too much of a lag fest, depending on the game, really.
I don't know, man. But hopefully they figure out something that can something they can use to make that work.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's just going to expose them, and hopefully it ushers in some rollback netcode, some GGPO. Because that would be really good for fighting games in the future.
I mean, that can only be positive.
So that we don't have to suffer.
Evan, didn't you have something about a woman getting arrested in a store?
Yeah. Okay. I told this to Jacob earlier, very briefly. Anybody else hear of the story of Alberta? A woman in Alberta, dressed up as a stormtrooper for May the 4th for the cafe she's working at. They changed it to like some sort of like Star Wars canteen type thing. But she's walking to work in a stormtrooper costume, so the whole like plastic and everything, plastic blaster and everything. And the cops were called on her. Multiple 911 reports of her having like a weapon. Police roll up, guns already pointed out, like drawn out, pointed at her, saying like, put the weapon down, get on your knees, but that she couldn't get on her knees because of the outfit, because of how restrictive it is, and it's like, get on your belly, but she can't. So they end up pushing her right to the ground, bloodying her nose, probably even breaking her nose. People are filming it. Her boss is watching. Everybody's like, what the hell is going on? Like, this is obviously a stormtrooper, obviously fake. Obviously, this is Star Wars. Everybody knows this. This is a widely worldwide cultural thing. So, it's just Canada being retarded, because we're retarded up here.
So you're the top hat of America.
At this point, yeah, we're fucking retarded.
Definitely gonna have to cut out some of that, but yeah.
Well, I mean, why?
Evan, you know why.
I mean, like, why though?
Evan, you know why.
I mean, I'm just being honest here.
Evan.
It's the stupidest shit.
Was it the cursing?
What?
Yeah, it's usually the cursing.
Wow. You know me, I'm a surly sailor.
Yeah.
I'm not going to change that. A little bit cooler than that.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm a surly sailor. I don't care. Unfiltered. So I guess nobody else has heard of that?
Yeah. No. And I don't know of anything else too exciting, so I guess that's the end of that.
Aside from the world still being in shambles, as well as the fact that...
well, yeah, everybody's just waiting for... I don't really know if it's going to be some sort of economic crash. We're postponing it because the stock market is being artificially propped up at this point. So, I don't know. I want it to happen sooner than later, because later down the line we're going to be hit more, especially now with printing of money at this point.
It'll probably be fine.
I mean, that's the optimistic view. That's the glass is half full. But yeah,
No.
that's cause for concern for everybody, really.
Yep. Hard times these are.
Yeah,
But
coronavirus, fun.
that's why we're here. Try and focus on something else.
Oh, I was gonna say just to suffer.
No, enough of you. Yeah. After that, we have talking about how we all met and the thing that we all share, playing video games.
I thought it was our love for America.
It was definitely not that.
I was gonna say drinking.
It was definitely not that either.
As much as we don't drink much.
Speak for yourself, nerd.
Rain, you haven't said much. Why don't you start us off? What did you used to play before high school and high school? You know, before we were here now.
Fuck, back then I was good at League. Shut the fuck up.
Don't attack it.
Always League.
So
it's been around since the dawn of time.
I definitely played a lot of League, and got relatively good at that. But eventually, the game became such a cesspool of probably just generic cancer that I ended up falling out pretty heavily. And then I did do a lot of CSGO as well. So I played like a lot of CSGO. And then eventually I ended up getting a PSP and discovering Monster Hunter, and that's where eventually I ended up meeting Jacob by hanging out with a friend that
kind of cutting out.
Am I?
Yeah.
It'd be like that sometimes. But yeah, I discovered the PSP, so I started playing a lot of Monster Hunter, where I inevitably ended up finding Jacob and starting the friendship there with kind of just walking into his house and like, hey, are you this dude that plays this game? And it's pretty much the story.
And then we played games on Steam, and we're bored for an eternity.
Well, now we're here, where games no longer excite us, and we do it just to fill the void of everything that we call time.
Right. Well, how about you, Nick? I know you played a lot of WoW back in the day.
That's an understatement somehow.
How was it?
Imagine if you will, waking up, then playing a game until you couldn't hold your eyes open anymore, and then going to bed. And then repeating that for 6 years.
I mean, I've done that, but not... It was like a day or two at a time.
Like, it was from the time I was like 12, 13 to, I guess, 17, 16 in that area. I guess, like, around the same time I got laid. I don't know.
That's just the point in most people's life. It's like, everything changed past I got laid. And it's just, that chapter has ended. Time to usher in the new chapter.
I could no longer be a nerd.
Yeah. Maintaining relationships and also maintaining a MMO habit. You can do A or B. You can't do both. You have to pick one and do it.
Damn straight you tried both.
I tried both, but I was like I would basically only show up for raid days for a while, and then like I just stopped paying for my subscription. And it was mainly most of my life was playing WoW, because WoW gave a community to a young boy who was shunned at school. And then I met friends, and then I had friends, and then they were just like, hey, here's this Monster Hunter thing. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. And then, like, I reunited with the guy that friggin' paid attention to me sleeping in art class. And that was interesting. And yeah, now I'm just a nerd who can also work on a car.
Fucking nerd.
Just a bunch of nerd mechanics around here.
Whoa.
Whoa, man. Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
It's my
Alright.
Gun mechanic at best.
first off.
Yeah.
Evan, I know you've got quite a history of things that I.
Oh
never
man,
heard
like let's just get started.
Yeah, being the boomer
I've played
of the
video
group.
games since. Yeah, I've played video games since the dawn of time. Apparently, had like
27.
like everything except a Sega Saturn for whatever reason. Oh yeah, and modern consoles because PC is just better in every way. Except it doesn't have Bloodborne. Right, PS Now, but whatever. Played like everything, fucking everything, and then got too much into fighting games in the late teenage years, and yeah, you know what, Nick? It kind of like falls in line with your chapter in life. You got laid, and then life just changed. It's like I just got really into fighting games, and I've been that way ever since. Yeah, No, it was Marvel coming out. And then a stick was on sale, so like, oh shit, I gotta buy the stick. I remember trading in a bunch of games, abusing some sort of trade-in bonus towards Super Street Fighter 4. Get the stick. Yeah, I was originally for Super Street Fighter 4. Got really good at that. Then Marvel came out. Got super good at Marvel. Then kind of stopped playing fighting games for a little bit. So Mortal Kombat 9 came out, and then played that like crazy, and then just kind of played whatever since. And, fucking Dragon Ball came out, and there you go. So, yeah, man, fighting games. So, meeting this group here. So, this goes back to, was it like New Year's 08? You're going to have to corroborate with me on here.
Yeah.
I want to say it was like New Year's 08. Here we are, just a bunch of bored teenagers, New Year's, playing Lost Planet. Extreme Condition Colonies Edition. You always got to remember that, because that was the platinum version or the greatest hits version, whatever Xbox called it.
The bargain bin edition.
Yeah, the bargain bin edition, because it was actually different from the original release. It had more added stuff. And then we just kind of played Acrid Hunter, and then we kind of played more games, and played a ton of Halo and Gears and other assortments of games, and then here we are, flash forward to a couple years later, we graduated high school, we're like in college, we play on PC, and then I meet the rest of the gang here, and here we all chilling, hanging out, talking shit, and playing terrible video games, and enduring pain, because that's just how we are. Right. Does that about sum it up? Because I just remember the one night Rain was just kind of like, we do nothing but play shit.
Yeah, well.
Please don't ever attack me like that ever again.
Oh, no, I'm attacking everybody. Nobody's safe.
Gotta watch what you say. Someone's always waiting to hold it against you.
Are we all just Karens in the end?
I really hope we're not Karens.
No, we're not Karens. We don't send angry letters to Trump.
Oh.
Like CNN did.
Speak for yourself.
I want my stimulus.
Oh,
Give
man.
me my stimulus.
Give me my Trump bucks.
I mean,
I want my heat
send
bucks.
mail to them. You can send mail to the White House if you want.
Oh, man. Just make sure it's written in crayon for best effort.
No, that's if you want to send a letter to the military. So that way if they have something to eat afterward.
I thought that was just to determine where
like
you
that,
are. Or is it like MOS or whatever? I don't know, something like that.
I don't know, dude. Life be strange.
So
Yeah,
anyways,
yeah.
Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob.
The finale.
How you doing? How you doing over there? How's it hanging, bro?
Kind of just have my head in my hands the whole time,
Yeah.
but,
That's you whenever we congregate, really.
Yeah, that's pretty normal.
Yeah. You're like the overprotecting dad. We're all the children, really.
I don't know about that.
I mean, we are the children, essentially.
I mean, my mom played a lot of video games. That's where I get a lot of the first titles I played. You know, Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, Fantasy Star, I want to say.
Did you play
Yeah.
it on Dreamcast?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be Fantasy Star Online. That was a good game.
Yeah, I played a lot of games on PS2, PlayStation 1. Dreamcast, I didn't play too many games, because the games I did all on there, I didn't really understand how to play.
Except for
Good.
Blue Stinger.
I didn't understand how to play that. That's just
Yeah,
the one
but
I
you played
remember. That PS2 was my life for the longest time, up until the Xbox 360. Of course, that's when I met a couple of friends that I still have now. Probably around middle school or so. And of course, yeah, we played a lot of Halo and Gears of War back then. It was an easier time. And after that, which is hilarious because I'm sure Nick loves to rag on me for things I used to say. But I never thought I'd get into Steam at first. As always, starts with Gmod. And after that, I now have like 400 plus games in my library. Because this is just my life now.
Gmod. Why do you have to go and say that?
Yeah, it's you actually say Gmod, but what got me into Steam was when Team Fortress 2 became free, and then I bought Gmod.
Gmod was the first game I've ever owned on Steam, so that's why I said it.
And I also bought that pack with Counter-Strike Source, because that was the hot shit to play back in the day. And I was always terrible at it.
I remember a simpler time when Steam just had Valve games on it.
Yeah, right. A lot of time that was.
Yeah, you needed Steam to play Half-Life 2. You required it.
Yeah, it installed it like a freaking STD onto your hard drive.
And everybody hated it.
Yeah, now it's the thing that everyone uses forever.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah, fuck Epic Launcher, fuck Good Old Games is nice, because you don't have to use the launcher. But, then again, what good old PC games are you playing?
And you also don't have to actually, you can return almost all the games.
Yeah, DRM free and all that good stuff. So I definitely like that, but I don't know, getting some old PC games running it's a nightmare. You have to do some sort of virtual machine type of fuckery, DOS box, that kind of thing.
Yeah, especially like a throwback of a game that I used to play a lot on Xbox and everything like that was definitely Jet Set Radio, and once I saw that it had migrated to Steam at one point in time, I started it up, and I'm like, whoa. I'm like, is this what I played back in the day?
I didn't know you were a fan of Jet Set.
Yeah, I love Jet Set Radio.
Man, that's so good. Such a great game.
I played a lot of Jet... to be honest, I actually didn't play the original Jet Set Radio. I played Future.
I played Future once. I really only played. Back on Dreamcast, it was called Jet Grind Radio for some reason.
Yeah, that was the good old Japanese version. But once it came to America, they translated it to Jet Set Radio, and then Jet Set Radio Future. I actually owned a dual game of some racing game from like 2005. It was like GT 2005 or something like that, and Jet Set Radio Future, as well as...
I know exactly what you're talking about. Everybody had that because that was the Xbox Live pack.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like when you bought like either membership or the headset or whatever, you get that the game and Jet Set for free.
And played a lot of Fusion Frenzy as well. Waiting for that one to magically show up somewhere. Cause
I mean, who made that?
Fusion Frenzy or Jet Set Radio?
Yeah. It's I don't know, like who owns the rights to it? Who published it? Who developed
no idea.
I have no idea either, because the rights could just be in limbo at this point. Then again, who's just kind of like, hey, I want an HD re-release of Fusion Frenzy.
Yeah, man.
Blitz Games.
Besides, like, 10 people. I've never even heard of that.
And then they came out... They did make a Fusion Frenzy 2. Which was owned by Microsoft and Hudson. Microsoft...
Hudson's dead now.
Yep, Microsoft and Hudson.
I don't know who owns Hudson these days. I don't know who's releasing the Bomberman games.
Dude,
So whoever's releasing the Bomberman games, whatever company, they own Fusion Frenzy probably, unless Microsoft owns it.
Either one might, but like, there's been no indications of that game anywhere.
Yeah, I highly doubt you'll get another version or a re-release. I mean, it could be. Who knows? They re-released Shenmue 1 and 2, for fuck's sakes. And I'm the only one ever that knows about the game and loves it.
So I guess it'll all just depend, really.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like you said, how it be.
Speaking of re-releases and sequels, how does everyone feel about Resident Evil?
RE3 shit.
Right, any other opinions?
Yeah, I mean, as a longtime Resi fan, remake of 3 is shit. It's no remake 2. It's definitely no remake 1. Remake 1 is a fucking masterpiece.
We're gonna...
Can we... Based on everything I have looked into those games, and the history of Resident Evil 3 in general, I think it's a perfectly fine release. It represents exactly what 3 was. It was a middle point that everyone didn't like, because it took away a lot of the horror puzzling for more of a faster combat. And most people don't like it because it's not what Resident Evil 1 and 2 were, and Nemesis was just kind of some guy that shows up all the time.
I mean, I agree with you there in that sense. It is a serviceable remake, but in terms of compared to the original, it's inferior in the sense of just how it is, like the pacing, the core content of the game. The remake is significantly less because they cut out like 40% of the areas, and Nemesis isn't like Mr. X in Resident Evil 2 remake. He doesn't constantly pursue you. That's what everybody wanted. That's how he was in the original.
Yeah, but everyone wanted a Resident Evil 3 remake, but they didn't, like, when you ask for a remake, you're not redoing too much of it. I understand they probably shouldn't have cut out a few chunks of areas, but...
And are we gonna...
Like, Nemesis was never a pursue you all the time guy.
Well, yeah, he wasn't a pursue you all the time, but there were a lot of points where he does show up. Then there was also points in the game where he has a chance to show up.
Yeah.
That is, especially if you keep revisiting areas, like you missed an item, you missed a key, you're running back to the safe room, put something in the item box and or save. But like, from what I understand with Resi 3 Remake, that's just not the case. He's just in a few scripted areas, and then you fight him as a boss, and that's really about it. He doesn't have that, almost like you're not being pursued, like in the remake of 2 with Mr. X. You don't have that feeling.
As well as...
It's like, oh shit, he's behind me, that kind of thing.
As well as a lot of the visual assets went to Jill's assets, you know?
You waited all that long just to talk about her tits?
No, her ass.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's good, but I'm still in the camp of, I prefer original Jill.
But, I mean, like, I understand why people don't care for the game, but they also kind of need to understand that, like, honestly, as, like, it fits the premise of 3. They chopped out some chunks, but it still fits the exact premise of what 3 is, and that was a crossing point between 4. And, I mean, everyone loves 4.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
I mean, 5 butchers it again, and 6 butchers it a little bit more, but...
Yeah, 4 being the best worst game of all time.
And then Raccoon City just absolutely dropping a grenade at its own foot.
Yeah, we don't talk about that game. That's banned.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, I mean, I don't know, that's just the unfortunate way it is. I mean...
Yeah, I agree with you there. It was going between the horror to more action. That was the turning point of that one. Then going into 4, which is more action.
I mean, I played
So
the demo, and like I enjoyed it. Like it was a fun demo. I've never really cared for any of the Resident Evil games, but yeah, I played that, and I found it honestly enjoyable. I mean, it's scary enough. The zombies are annoying as hell. You have to keep following your Zombieland rules and double tapping. Because like they're always just laying on the ground, and you're like, but I don't trust you, and you have to put another one in their face, in their thought piece.
That's just the general Resident Evil way. Just assume every zombie that's on the ground is alive.
Yeah, I wish I had Dead Space reasoning where I could just run up and start stomping.
Yeah, Dead Space taught us that dead bodies aren't dead bodies.
It's almost like that Danny DeVito freaking meme. Just like I saw a zombie, and then I started blasting.
Danny DeVito is such a gem.
What I learned in boarding school is just shoot him again. Just shoot him again.
Bullets are
so I was
cheap.
blasting at these zombies.
Anything else, Jacob?
Well, that was a long.
I could go on about the game, but that's just me going like, "Oh, hey, the 90s were better," and then you're just like, "Shut up." Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
that was productive enough. Believe me, that went on way longer than I thought it was going to.
I could keep it going for another hour.
Well, how about?
I just want a closing statement, if that's all right. It didn't live up to the hype that Resident Evil 2 remake built up. That's really what it was more than anything.
Yeah, but Resident Evil 2 was one of the best games that everyone loves and arguably made the series.
Yeah,
so how do you follow
you're
that?
Correct. You're correct there. You can't. You really can't. But yeah, that's about it.
Right,
you got anything else there, Boss Foreman?
That took up a lot of time, but how do you guys feel about a lot of remakes and re-releases, sequels even, coming out in general? Like Evan was telling me with Doom, which is actually a sequel to Doom, which I didn't know. That's interesting. And yeah, Command & Conquer getting remastered, redone.
And then Borderlands 3 coming out.
Right. Yeah, how do you guys feel about that?
When you look at it, feels like people are just like, well, we don't want to make new ideas, so what if we just took already good ideas and then spit shine it, and then just put that out, and then charge full price, or even $40? Because when you think about it, you don't have
the sweet spot.
I mean, what I'm trying to mean is like when you think about it, I mean, like, what do they really have to do? Like, I understand that designing and designing and coding new graphics and everything takes a lot of time, but you already don't have to write a story or a plot or really anything. You just have to give it a paint job.
And
it's essentially just the philosophy of adding in some a high res mod.
I think it's just the thought process of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I mean, I see that. I think it's a blessing and a curse, because with blessing, you up it higher res it, textures look nicer, should look nicer in most cases, and then add some quality of life changes, like, oh, this part of this game was really annoying, so we cut it short, or cut a little bit of it out, cut it down.
Made it easier, pretty much.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm going to use an example here. It's a funny example called Warcraft 3.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
It's where it feels like companies will just try to gouge you for money and lie to your face horribly. I mean, I ended up returning it, which, on a side note, you could still do that. Doesn't matter when you bought it. But, yeah, it's one of those things that just kind of makes you sad, because when they're going to charge you $40, $60 for a game, you kind of want everything that they said they're going to do. And when they kind of just make the game as awful as the original, when bugs from the original game are still in This version, it's like, well, what happened, guys? Like, you had one job, and you had 20 years to fix it. What happened?
I mean, you referenced that one, but that was just blatant false advertisement on Blizzard's
Do you want
part.
to talk about false advertisement? Let's talk about No Man's Sky.
Yeah, but that's not a remake.
No, but it is false advertising.
Yeah, it is blatant false advertisement. I can't vouch for playing the game, but as far as seeing the promotional material to the actual game material, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but they fixed it. They fixed it and made it arguably better. Like, I really need to take the time to sit down and actually experience the game and actually give it its fair share. But from what I've seen, they've at least been working as hard as they could to make the game what they said they were going to make it. And I appreciate their devs standing by it.
Only took them 3 years.
Yeah, but I mean, they could just be like, that game EA is dropping like a hot potato, freaking Anthem, and just not do it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine paying $60 for that pile of garbage. I mean, at least if you bought the other game, you now have something that's playable a few years later.
How did that studio even stay afloat during that? Or was it because they got like a huge bonus from Sony?
Who knows? That's not something I'd probably ask.
It's like that's what I wonder. Is the game sold, but there was a lot of controversy over it. So how did the studio even stay afloat?
I mean,
that's just my question.
Maybe they had a nice chunk of money sitting around. I don't think their workforce is that big, honestly, to begin with. So it's probably not that many paychecks.
Wasn't it technically like an indie studio?
Yeah. But yeah, getting back to the topic of like, remake games, I mean, honestly, I don't mind paying, $30, $40 for a game that they just retextured and updated for higher resolution. Like, I don't mind that. Like, for instance, the Command & Conquer one, that's all they're really doing. They're just remastering the frigging, the cutscenes in between, and they're just upping the resolution and cleaning up the art. That's fine. You're basically just throwing, rose-colored shades on a game, and I mean, it's a good game. Like, it was an RTS that kind of made the RTS genre. And so, like, you're not really doing anything wrong there.
I mean, just came to mind now. Point towards remakes. Going back to Command & Conquer there, say you re-release the game, it kind of revitalizes the game itself, as in, like, the community. So, say there's, like, a diehard community of 100 people. Now it's re-released, then boom, you might have 1,000 now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's really good in that sense. If you really love this one game, and you've been playing it for the past 10, 20 years, well, there you go. It's good for that as well.
Yeah, and from what I've seen, EA is only charging $20 for it right now. So it's just, it's a pretty fair price, I think. Which is weird coming out of EA, but, let's not talk about that. But I mean, like, it's just like the Halo remastered. Like, when they remastered the first Halo, I mean, I was scared because it was 343 doing it, not Bungie, but it turned out to be fine. But it was really cool to have that option to just switch between, the updated graphics and the potato graphics. Because it was just like, oh man, this game looks so good. I wonder how it looked like when I was playing it. And you just hit the button, and you're like, oof. That's a big oof.
This is what I believe to be good in a day.
Yeah, this is what I determined as realistic. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I think remakes are healthy in a certain extent.
Well, that can certainly be a good thing, but yeah, as we've seen, there's been plenty of cases where they haven't really lived up to
what they should be.
Probably even the developers' expectations at this point.
That's why I mentioned it. It's a blessing yet a curse at the same time. It's just the yin yang effect, really.
Yeah.
Some are great for obvious reasons, and others are just complete and total, trash fire dog shit.
We'll just have to see what happens I heard they were releasing there was talks about a Resident Evil 4 remake.
I've heard about that. If it goes the way of 3, which I hope they have learned a bit of their lesson, and as much as 2 did cut out some, it was mostly a good recreation. Unlike 3 cutting more of the game out, and especially no mercenaries mode, which is really annoying. That's what started mercenaries. Sorry, Mad Jackal was what it was called.
Yeah, I was told that like mercenary mode was basically one of the biggest things out of 3.
Yeah, so you have, that's really, as the years went by, that's really what defined the game, because then that was put into further games, like where it blew up was 4, and then in 5 blew up again. 6, it was great because you had co-op, as much as the game was terrible. But I don't know, I'm very skeptical with if they are remaking it, because it's like, oh, the jokes are, okay, well, the game's going to be nothing but the castle, the village, and then the island. The castle's going to be cut, there's going to be no Salazar, Leon's not going to be this B-movie action hero with all of his snide remarks anymore, fun's over. So I don't know, it's one of those things that remains to be seen. It could either be really good or really bad.
Yeah,
I feel like all they really...
can't wait for when they decide to throw an achievement in there for looking up Ashley's skirt too many times.
Oh yeah, mandatory that.
Anything you guys are excited for that could possibly get remade? Anything that you want to? Or maybe don't want to, based on the context of this conversation?
Dude, I just want more Banjo-Kazooie games. That was my jam growing up.
I never knew you were a fan of the banjo.
Yeah.
Dude, I got to play the one on DS. That's like the first one I ever got to play as a kid.
Yeah, I'd like Diddy Kong Racing to come back.
Dude, I'm alright with that too.
Diddy Kong Racing! I still have the box for that game, but I don't have the game. Like the N64 box, but I don't have the cart. For whatever reason.
They could just redo that and throw it on a fucking, like Switch. That'd be fantastic.
I suppose they could port the DS version over, and then just re-up that.
Yeah, and then make it, as good for the Switch.
Dude, if we can get Conquer remade,
Lord,
that would be amazing.
It's not going to happen.
I know it's not, but I can dream.
I mean, it was technically already remade on Xbox.
There's too many snowflakes.
Yeah, I know they had the. It's too many snowflakes. I know that. I know they did that one where like he was storming like Normandy. And that was pretty weird. That was in
the original. So Bad Fur Day came out on N64. Then they remade it, Conquer Live and Reloaded on original Xbox, and it was essentially the same game, but essentially a full-on remake.
I never got to play that
assets, new everything.
I
actually had 2 copies of it. If I still had 2 copies, I would have sent it to you.
I got to play it because like we were getting the magazines from Game Freak, I believe it was. And they had the demo CD that you'd get with it. And I ended up getting it on there, and I played like through the first chunk of it up until you fight the surgeon boss.
Oh yeah, were they still teddies in that game?
Yes, you were fighting teddies.
Man.
It was brutal.
Oh, I was so good.
It's a good game.
Anybody else remember demo discs? That was the shit back in the day. If you were poor, but you had like 20 demo discs, that's all you played.
Yeah, it's actually, if I played through the games I already had, I would just load those up and just be like, well, I guess I'm going to relive this brief memory.
I'm going to go relive the first 2 levels of Spyro.
Yeah.
I remember...
over and over and over.
I remember first playing Half-Life 2 on Xbox, though.
Was it on
no,
a demo
it
disc?
was an actual game on Xbox.
Oh.
Oh, God.
I figured that maybe it was on like a demo disc. It's like, here's a demo of Halo 2.
They'd actually...
with something else.
They'd actually sell the entire game on Xbox.
It wasn't like the first like digital download game.
One of them, yeah.
Besides, PC, I just mean console
Yeah.
wise. So PC even had that. I never knew that PC had like these online gaming services, like even cloud and something like Steam, so digital distribution, even in the late 90s. It was very primitive and bad, but it was still a thing.
Yeah, man. I was gonna say, yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I never played any Half-Life games. Like, I always wanted to, but like every time I load them up, like I didn't get that far into the first one because, like, I don't know, I just feel like I'm playing an old shooter, and it's just weird for me now.
I mean, it is based upon the Quake engine, so you're right there. It just feels like an old shooter.
Yeah. Oh, dude, one of my favorite games is playing Unreal Tournament.
Which one?
It was the Xbox One.
I
One where like
was
one of the
2K3.
maps. Huh?
I think that was 3. I remember playing a lot of Unreal Tournament 3 as well.
Yeah,
No,
it was one that had the
Was
maps.
this on original Xbox?
Yes.
I want to say that's 2K3.
If I remember correctly, one of the maps was like 2 points that were floating in like space. Yeah, there's like a straightaway like between them. That's like the map I'd play all the time.
I never really played that much Unreal Tournament. I had Quake 3 Arena on Dreamcast, and I would prefer to play
Unreal
that.
Tournament 3 was on Xbox 360.
Yeah, that's what I
here's
thought he was
the
talking about.
art for the one I'm looking
Unreal.
for.
Yeah, I was referring to, it was like 2K3 or whatever on original Xbox. It was something like that.
I mean, I found the original art box of the one I played. Bear with me here as I, show you guys.
Reference it.
Nobody else but you guys. I got you.
Yeah, to revitalize our memories.
Oh.
No, I think that's the original.
Yeah.
I played a lot of 3.
I played the old lad. Because that's all I had. I remember now. It wasn't on the Xbox. It was on my dad's PC. I remember. Because he had this and he had Red Alert 2. And I'd always bug him to use his laptop because I wanted to play Red Alert 2. And he would sometimes let us when we were at daycare. And it was great. I also got to play, that's when I actually got to play StarCraft also.
See, that was me when I was 4, bugging my brother to play something on his computer, and it was always Doom. He's like, here, this is how you play Doom. Here's the arrow keys, here's control. What was it? No, Alt was fire. Space is open the door. I forget what control did. I think it was just change your weapon. This was before keyboard and mouse controls.
Yeah.
It was, oh man, it was bad.
Good stuff.
Those were some good times. Good times.
All right, Jacob, come on.
What?
Hey, come on, don't fall
hit us
asleep
the
on
next
us here.
topic.
Don't fall asleep on us here.
I'm waiting for you guys to finish talking, alright?
We weren't done. You could always interject.
I'm trying to make it
You could always be like, you know what? That reminds me of this time in 1462.
Do what Evan's doing to you.
You see?
What?
There you
Cutting me
go.
off, trying to avoid that, honestly.
We're bound to do that anyway, because that's just how we are.
Well, if we could not, I would greatly appreciate it.
That's just how we are. Okay? You know what?
But,
I'm sorry, Senpai Chaotic.
You're supposed to be chaotic.
The next thing we have is, after all that talk about video games, talk about what we do other than video games.
You mean video games?
No, other than video games.
We attempt to make a living for ourselves.
Yeah?
Yeah, but what hobbies do you have? What do you like to do when you're not here? Or playing something?
I think a lot of people are about to have a lot of existential crisis.
Yeah. That's the whole thing. Most of us are just doing the same old things because of all stay inside, you can't go anywhere. So what's everybody generally doing? Either playing video games, watching TV, watching movies, Netflixing, Or
I think the
doing
question
whatever.
is more of, what do you like to do?
Oh.
I would assume it's post-corona or pre-corona, what you would like to do besides games.
It doesn't matter. You can have a hobby even if you're stuck inside all day. I still have my piano. I'm sure you guys can think of something.
I fix things. I take things apart.
Yeah, how's your bike coming along?
Oh yeah, so I don't know. I don't have to tell you guys this. So I went to like 4 motorcycle shops today, and I was looking for a 16mm thin wall socket because the spark plugs are hard to get to with a normal size 16mm socket. All of them. One of them said he had it, and I went there, and he's like, "Nah, I don't got it. Dude, don't exist." And I was like, "Cool." And he proceeded to try to charge me $20 for a socket to order that would work. And I was like, "All right, you're insane." So I went to the next place, didn't have it. Third place didn't have it, and I was like, "All right, how about this?" I drove all the way to Harbor Freight. I bought the exact size socket I needed, and then I went home. I put it on a drill, and I friggin' ran it against a grinding wheel until I shaved 2mm off the entire, diameter of this thing, and that works. So that was fun.
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah, so I was able to finally get my spark plugs out after 2 days of effort. I get to buy new ones tomorrow.
That'll do it yourself. Modify your tools.
Yeah. It's a mechanic
Not really
special.
recommended.
My father actually has a box of like sockets that he doesn't care about that are specifically for rigging it to work.
No, I mean that's good at least.
Yeah,
Reuse tools. Don't really care. It's like just if you need to fuck around with them to get something to work, then do it.
So many mechanics have so many throwaway wrenches that like if you need to hit a certain spot, I've seen them just snap them in half and weld them a certain way so they could fit in a certain like area they need to fit. And it's just kind of funny.
I've seen a lot of that. Every sort of screwdriver used for everything imaginable. It might even say on the screwdriver, "Don't use as pry bar." Using it as pry bar.
Yeah, that's just a suggestion. Come on.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, besides that, I mean, tomorrow, hopefully my bike will be in one piece. So we're going to end up tearing my car apart tomorrow so we can put new seals all over the place because that's always fun. And besides that, I mean, I tinker with weapons because I want to be the smith of everything.
Evan, you did electrical work in college.
Yeah, I luck with some electrical work to fix it every now and then. I have not been productive whatsoever lately, as my sleep is fucked.
That's true, but you still tell me a lot about how to fix wires and minor electrical, minor wiring issues like that.
Well, yeah, because every now and then you're just kind of like, I've got this issue with this shorting, or I've got this busted wire. It's like, why don't you just kind of like strip it and whatnot and just tie it together and then electrical tape it and whatever. You don't have to solder it and whatnot.
What's funny on that note is that Rain came by to have his new stereo installed, and we were looking at the wiring job. It was quite wonderful. They twisted the wires together, and then electrical tape wrapped it and just called that good.
For a stereo.
Yeah.
Now, if you said it was done via coat hanger, that would have been better. Because it would still work.
Alright, next time we do wiring on Rain's car, I'll make sure to use
Absolutely
a coat hanger at
not.
some point.
I
just won't tell you.
Will,
I'll have a section of coat hanger, and he's like, "What is that?" I'm like, "It's a wire extender."
Yep, it will still work.
Just because it'll work doesn't make it a great idea, I think.
I mean, that's true, but, as long as you have a
really
short run
hate this
of
conversation.
I really like this conversation.
How am I going to slip modding into Rain's car?
Well, why don't you regale us with your hobbies, Rain?
As for hobbies, I actually did a lot of tinkering with firearms and everything like that, and then for a while I did like to paint before, but I no longer have any artistic creativity to even begin to start doing that again. Just because I'm no longer creative. And then, other than that, somehow I ended up magically becoming a lab technician for the cannabis industry. That's interesting, considering that, like, I haven't had, like, a lick of schooling. And, other than that, I spend a fair share of my time at home because primarily a homebody, and I spend way too much time with my cat.
Yeah, I hear you. Over the years working from home, it did that to me.
Quite the industry it's becoming.
Well, yeah, now more than ever, and I was even saying back then, this is probably going to be the future, because it just cuts a lot of overhead costs out, and then all they really have to pay for is licensing for software and or VPN services, depending on what you're dealing with. Honestly, all of them involving money should have a VPN. The last guys I worked with, they didn't have a VPN. I'm like, man, really?
Nah, you don't need it.
It's highly recommended.
It is, but I mean...
Yeah, I mean, I understand, but still, yeah. Like, the others I worked for, they did, because they were super high for security, and I'm like, yeah, this is what you should be doing.
Yeah.
You know, consumer protection and all. As much as there isn't a lot of that these days. Which is, it's really sad. But yeah, aside from that, what about you, Jacob?
No, not much, honestly.
So yeah,
Well,
it's about the same as me.
yeah, well, I mean, things I did take up, like Rain was talking about, I did draw for a while, because my mom did, so I was interested in it. Realized it was very difficult. Probably something I might pick up now, though, given all the free time we all suddenly have. I still play piano in my spare time, sometimes. Also difficult. But, I think now it's just going to be audio production for a while, as I learn how to manage all this and make it good and proper. And just try to, and hopefully you guys can have more things for us to talk about in the future. So, first episode, so it's just kind of trying to get the feel out there for how this is gonna be like if we did do this regularly.
Yeah, feel it out. You wing it a bit. See how it goes, and then you find your groove, and you get in your groove.
Aren't we still in this right now?
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, but can't you just talk about it?
This is getting too meta.
I know.
Well,
is this philosophy hour now?
No.
Well, maybe I'll just cut this entire part out. How about that?
Nah, it's fine.
Too late. Too late, Rain streaming it. It's out there.
Oh,
to our one other viewer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the VOD, but I have the audio files.
Holy hell, 2 other viewers. Hold on.
Oh no.
2 other people know what's going on.
Oh no.
They're also not saying anything, but you know.
We have an install base of 2. That's better than -5.
Actually, well, it's not something that I've been able to, not something that I've been into recently, but movies. I love watching movies, love going to the theaters. Haven't really had the money to do that recently, but last time I did, the Ghibli Film Festival was around again. And I never actually saw those movies, so it was really cool to see those.
I haven't seen any of those movies. The only ones is My Neighbor Totoro part of that?
Yes.
It was, yeah.
Okay. So then I only know of that, and I want to say Spirited Away. Am I correct on that one?
Yeah.
Okay, those are the only ones I know, and I haven't seen any of them.
So, pro tip here: go as drunk as you can comfortably go. You'll be way more emotionally invested.
So those are the movies you went drunk to. Okay. Now the story makes sense.
Yeah, my neighbor
Yes.
Totoro, I'm still bent out of shape about the mother. I bring
You
it
cried.
up all the time.
Little known fact, he cried over Cat Bus.
Dude, Cat Bus, though.
I mean, this sounds emotional. It's Cat Bus.
Yeah, that's Cat Bus,
Yeah.
dude.
That was a good scene. That was a good movie.
That's Cat Bus sounds great.
I know we haven't gone recently, but I've also seen Nausicaa, The Valley of the Wind. That was a really good movie. Oh yeah, Kiki's Delivery Service, which,
I remember you telling me a lot about that.
yeah, I adore that movie. It was really cool to see that again.
Can't really speak about like modern films for myself. I last time I went to the theaters, oh jeez, I don't even know. Like I actually no wait I do. When was Star Trek Into Dark? Too long ago.
Truly, because I don't remember.
I want to say that was like 13 or 14.
I want to say 13 too, yeah.
Yeah, that was way too long ago. I mean, I haven't seen a modern, like, even gone to the theaters. I was gonna see the Dragon Ball Broly movie, but then I end up not.
It was 2013.
Of course it was. That was so long ago. But you know, other than that, it's, you know, you always catch a good movie every now and then. 80s movie, 80s action movie. That's all I really want to watch. Just throw in some Arnie.
So, Home Alone 2?
No, that's not Arnie. Home Alone's terrible.
Home Alone is not that bad.
Macaulay Culkin is nuts these days.
He's doing fine now.
He's doing fine, but he's just out there. I mean,
Aren't we all?
yeah, that's especially now. Stir craziness and whatnot.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, something
Okay.
like
Okay, well I suppose that's that wrapped up. All of our many and varied interests that amount to the amount of fingers I have on my hand.
that.
But still.
Are you saying we're boring, bland people?
Very much so.
That's not what I said.
That's what you're implying.
That's not what I did.
Are you implying I
Yeah.
carried the group?
I mean, you kind of did.
Anyway, is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we stop?
Nah, I'm good. This is a good first start. Let's just end it on that awkward silence. I like that.
When you try to summon things to say, things just don't come up. They just snap and then they're there. You can't just be like, you got anything else? Nah, not really. It's good.
Alright, well,
That's my thought.
wait, give me one moment here, because I have to look something up. But, yeah, just anything else you guys want to say at the end of the show now?
Goodbye. Have a wonderful time.
Why are you like
Yeah.
this?
The ending of that 70s show?
That was the ending of...
Was it the
Family
70s?
Guy.
No, I really?
No, American
Why
Dad.
am I thinking that 70s
American
show?
Dad.
I don't know.
They always had that police officer at the end. He's like, goodbye, have a wonderful time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good old Adult Swim.
No, Adult Swim, Stupid Monkey.
Oh,
After
yeah.
the end of Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
Stupid monkey.
Ryan, you want to say anything before we sign off?
Tune in next time for when we talk about even more unrelated stuff.
Well, that's what we talk about here.
He's not wrong.
Video games, culture, and
Is that the name of the
Yeah.
podcast? Unrelated stuff?
it could be. But it won't be.
Unrelated friends.
I'll make
That's a
that
good
an
one.
episode name.
Alright.
And on that note,
Alright, well,
keep 6 feet apart, wash your hands, blow your nose, take your vitamins, and remember, Flintstone gummies are the only thing that'll keep you safe during these trying times.
please
No,
don't say
I like
that.
the chewables, not the gummies.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Alright, we'll see you next time. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Yay, thank you.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Yeah.